Have you ever wondered how religious unrest in a small country could affect its entire history? Today, we delve into one of the most intense periods in Scottish history, the Wars of Religion. Scotland is a country rich in tradition and fierce independence, but its fortunes were torn apart by conflict. But what causes these tensions? Let's set the stage in the 16th century. Scotland at this time was not just a land of kilts and castles. This is a country grappling with deep religious divisions. The question of faith is not just a personal decision. This is a question of national identity and political power. The main conflict was between Protestants and Catholics. This is not just a Scottish problem. The Protestant Reformation caused unrest throughout Europe. Martin Luther's 95 Theses laid the foundation for the religious revolution of 1517. By the mid-15th century, influence had spread to Scotland. Now let's talk about one of the key figures, John Knox. John Knox was an ardent supporter of Protestantism and played an important role in spreading its influence in Scotland. Knox was born in 1514 and became a major figure in the Scottish Reformation. He was an outspoken critic of the Catholic Church and its practices, but his rise has not been easy. Knox was captured by French troops in 1547 and spent many years as a slave on a galley. However, back in Scotland, he was more determined than ever. In 1560, the Protestant Reformation officially emerged in Scotland. The Scottish Parliament passed a series of laws that effectively established Protestantism as the state religion. Catholic masses were banned, and Catholic activities were forced underground. But what about those who remain faithful to Catholicism? They don't just disappear. Instead, they organized a resistance movement. Important families and regions adhere to the Catholic faith. This led to a series of violent conflicts known as the War of the Three Kingdoms, spanning Scotland, England, and Ireland. One of the most famous events was the Battle of Langside in 1568. The battle was a decisive conflict between the armies of the Catholic Mary, Queen of Scots, and those supporting her infant son, James VI, a person associated with Protestant interests. The battle, which ended with Mary's defeat and subsequent imprisonment, symbolized the Protestant dominance of Scotland. But these religious wars are about more than just faith. They are closely associated with politics and power. Aristocratic families whose wealth and power were tied to lands and titles had to choose sides. This often leads to alliance changes and defections. Let us not forget the ordinary people of Scotland. For many people, these wars were a traumatic time. The community is divided. Families are torn apart by different beliefs. The constant threat of violence and persecution is a harsh reality. Despite the riots, the founding of the Church of Scotland, known as the Kirk, was a significant achievement. Its structure and practices are Presbyterian, emphasizing a decentralized form of church government. This model contrasted with the hierarchical Catholic Church and influenced the organization of the community. Let's go back to the 17th century, when Scotland was still grappling with religious divisions. The Covenanters were a group of Scottish Presbyterians who emerged in the 1630s. They signed the Covenant of Nations to defend their religious freedom from interference by King Charles I. This led to further conflicts and wars, as the monarchy attempted to impose religious uniformity among the various kingdoms. By the end of the 17th century, Scotland's religious landscape had changed dramatically. Catholicism was marginalized and Protestantism became entrenched. But the struggles and sacrifices of those who fought during the religious wars of Scotland left an indelible mark on the nation's identity. Thanks for sticking with us through this journey into Scotland's past. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more dives into history. Until next time, stay curious.